Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Ram Chaiva Narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tojayamudiraye. Nasta Pareshu Bhadreshu. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttamashloke.
Bhagavati Uttamashloke.
Bhakti Bhagavati Naishtaki.
Bhakti Bhagavati Naishtaki.
Here in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Text 27 and 28. We'll read verse 27 with a one-sentence purport, and we will chant together verse number 28. Rishayo Manavo Deva Manu Putra Mahojasa Kala Sarve Harer Eva Saprajapataya Smrita. All the rishis, manus, demigods, and descendants of Manu were especially powerful, or plenary portions, or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. This also includes the Prajapatis. Purport: those who are comparatively less powerful are called Vibhuti, and those who are comparatively more powerful are called Avesh, incarnations. Ete Chamsa Kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Svayam Indriyari Vyaktam Lokam. In the meter that I'm singing it, Nirdayanti Yuge Yuge Ete Chamsa Kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Svayam Injari Vyakulam Lokam Mirdayanti Yuge Yuge Ete Chamsa Kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Svayam Indari Vyakulam Lokam Nirdayanti Yuge Yuge. Please repeat, please chant.
Ete chamsa kala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indriyai Vyakulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge Yuge
Ete Shamsa Kala Pumsa
Ete chamsa kala pumsa
Krishnastu
Bhagavan
Door
Swayam
open in the kitchen.
Indriyari Vyakulam Lokam
Indriyai Vyakulam Lokam
Mridayanti Yuge Yuge
Mridayanti Yuge Yuge Ete chamsa kala pumsa
Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam
Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam
Indradi Vyakulam Lokam
Indriyari Vyakulam Lokam
Hridayanti Yuge Yuge
Hridayanti Yuge Yuge
Ete chamsa kala pumsa
Ete chamsa kala pumsa
Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam
Indriya Vyakulam Lokam Hridayanti Yuge Yuge
Ete, all these. Cha and Hamsa, plenary portions. Kala, portions of the plenary portions. Pumsa, of the Supreme Lord, of the Supreme. Krishna, Lord Krishna. But Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Svayam, in person. Indra Ari, the enemies of Indra. Vyakulam, disturbed. Lokam, all the planets. Nirdayanti, gives protection. Yuge, different ages. Translation: all of the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Shri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheists. the Lord incarnates to protect the theists. Please repeat. All the above mentioned incarnations
All the above mentioned incarnations
are either plenary portions
are the plenary portions
or portions of the plenary portions
or portions of the plenary portions
of the Lord.
of the Lord.
But Lord Sri Krishna is
Lord Sri Krishna is
the original personality of Godhead.
the original personality of Godhead.
All of them appear on planets
All of them appear on planets
whenever there is a disturbance
whenever there is disturbance
created by the atheists.
created by the atheists.
The Lord incarnates
The Lord incarnates
to protect the theists.
protect the theists.
Purport. In this particular stanza, Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, is distinguished from other incarnations. He is counted amongst the avatars, incarnations, because out of his causeless mercy the Lord descends from his transcendental abode. Avatar means one who descends. All the incarnations of the Lord, including the Lord himself, descend on the different planets of the material world, as also in different species of life to fulfill particular missions. Sometimes he comes himself, and sometimes his different plenary portions, or parts of the plenary portions, or his differentiated portions, directly or indirectly empowered by him, descend on this material world to execute certain specific functions. Originally, the Lord is full of all opulences, all prowess, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. When they are partly manifested through the plenary portions or parts of the plenary portions, it should be noted that certain manifestations of its different powers are required for those particular functions. When in the room small electrical bulbs are displayed, it does not mean that the electric powerhouse is limited by the small bulbs. The same powerhouse can supply power to operate large-scale industrial dynamos with greater volts. Similarly, the incarnations of the Lord display unlimited powers because so much power is needed at that particular time. For example, Lord Parashuram and Lord Nrsimha displayed unusual opulence by killing the disobedient Kshatriyas 21 times and killing one greatly powerful atheist, Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was so powerful that even the demigods and other planets would tremble simply by the unfavorable raising of his eyebrow. The demigods in the higher level of material existence many, many times excel the most well-to-do human beings in duration of life, beauty, wealth, paraphernalia, and in all other respects. Still, they were afraid of Hiranyakashipu. Thus, we can simply imagine how powerful Hiranyakashipu was in this material world. But even Hiranyakashipu was cut into small pieces by the nails of Lord Nrsimha. This means that anyone materially powerful cannot stand the strength of the Lord's nails. But the mixer,
Yeah, it's flour.
similarly, Jamadagnya displayed the Lord's power to kill all the disobedient kings powerfully situated in their respective states. The Lord's empowered incarnation, Narada, and plenary incarnation, Varaha, as well as indirectly empowered Lord Buddha, created faith in the mass of people. The incarnations of Rama and Dhanvantari displayed his fame, and Balaram, Mohini, and Vamana exhibited his beauty. Dattatreya, Matsya, Kurma, and Kapila exhibited his transcendental knowledge. Nara and Narayana Rishis exhibited his renunciation. So all the different incarnations of the Lord indirectly or directly manifested different features, but Lord Krishna, the primeval Lord, exhibited the complete features of Godhead, and thus it is confirmed that he is the source of all other incarnations. And the most extraordinary feature exhibited by Lord Sri Krishna was his internal energetic manifestation of his pastimes with the cowherd girls. His pastimes with the gopis are all displays of transcendental existence, bliss, and knowledge, although these are manifested apparently as sex love. The specific attraction of his pastimes with the gopis should never be misunderstood. The Bhagavatam relates these transcendental pastimes in the 10th canto, and in order to reach the position to understand the transcendental nature of Lord Krishna's pastimes with the gopis, the Bhagavatam promotes the student gradually in 9 other cantos. According to Srila Jiva Goswami's statement, in accordance with authoritative sources, Lord Krishna is the source of all other incarnations. It is not that Lord Krishna has any source of incarnation. All the symptoms of the supreme truth in full are present in the person of Lord Sri Krishna. And in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord emphatically declares that there is no truth greater than or equal to himself. In this stanza, the word Swayam is particularly mentioned to confirm that Lord Krishna has no other source than himself. Although in other places the incarnations are described as Bhagavan because of their specific functions, nowhere are they declared to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Supreme Personality. In this stanza, the word Svayam signifies the supremacy as the summum bonum. The summum bonum, Krishna, is one without a second. He himself has expanded himself in various parts, portions, and particles as Svayam Rupa, Svayam Prakash, Tad Ekatma, Prabhav, Vaibhav, Vilas, Avatar, Avesh, and Jivas, all provided with innumerable energies just suitable to the respective persons and personalities. Learned scholars in transcendental subjects have carefully analyzed the summum bonum Krishna to have 64 principal attributes. All the expansions or categories of the Lord possess only some percentages of these attributes, but Lord Sri Krishna is the possessor of the attributes cent percent. And his personal expansions, such as Svayam Prakash and Tan Ekatma, up to the categories of the avatars who are all Vishnu Tattva, possess up to 93% of these transcendental attributes. Lord Shiva, who is neither avatar nor Avesh, nor in between them, possesses almost 84% of the attributes. But the jivas, or the individual living beings in different statuses of life, possess up to the limit of 78% of the attributes. In the conditioned state of material existence, the living being possesses these attributes in very minute quantity, varying in terms of the pious life of the living being. The most perfect of living beings is Brahma, the supreme administrator of one universe. He possesses 78% of the attributes in full. All other demigods have the same attributes in less quantity, whereas human beings possess the attributes in very minute quantity. The standard of perfection for a human being is to develop the attributes up to 78% in full. The living being can never possess attributes like Shiva, Vishnu, or Lord Krishna. A living being can become godly by developing the 78% transcendental attributes in fullness, but he can never become a god like Shiva, Vishnu, or Krishna. He can become a Brahma in due course. The godly living beings who are all residents of the planets in the spiritual sky are eternal associates of God in different spiritual planets called Haridam and Maheshdam. The abode of Lord Krishna above all spiritual planets is called Krishna Loka, or Goloka Vrindavan, and the perfected living being, by developing 78% of the above attributes in fullness, can enter the planet of Krishna Loka after leaving the present material body. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Saguchatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Jayadham Surato Pangor Mamamanda Matergati Matsarvasva Padambo Jo Radha Madana Mohano Dibya Brindaranya Kalpachumada Śrīmad Ratnaghara Sringhasanasto Śrīmad Radha Shrilagovinda Devo Snavi Savyamanu Viravi Śrīmad Rasa Visarambi Mamsi Bhattitastita Karshan Venus Vanagopir Gopinatha Shriye Stuna Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Anamami Haripriye Manchikalpajarubhyascha Kripasinubhyevacha Patitanam Bhavadevyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ete Chamsa Kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Svayam Indari Vyalukam Vyakulam Lokam Mirdayanti Yuge. All the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Supreme Lord, of the Lord, but Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets whenever there's a disturbance created by atheists. The Lord incarnates to protect the theists. So this is a very important verse. Envy of Krishna and his pure devotees takes many, many forms and many, many bewildering tricks. Practically speaking, everything that everyone is doing in the material world, which is not based on full Krishna consciousness, is motivated by envy of Krishna. Each advaisa samudena. All living entities are born into this material world overcome by desires of envy and hate. This reinforces the bodily platform of life, conception of life on the jiva, the living entity, more solid than a mummy case or a cement overcoat, you know, that the mafia would put you in a concrete overcoat and throw you in the East River, you know, or sarcophagus, you know, buried alive, darkness of ignorance. And they create a society based on mutual envy and hate. Claude Barnes says, hardly anyone knows this. Folly to be wise where ignorance is bliss. Hardly one man in 1,000 realizes this. And Krishna, he's so kind, his compassion. You want to have an illusory world where there is no me, where you can try to become me? All right. And here's the material world, a perverted reflection of Krishna's world. So-called society, friendship, love. I love you. So that envy starts at the top and works its way down. So to understand that not only that Krishna is God, but he is the supreme source of everything and everyone. Prabhupada begins the purport, and then we see in most Indians have this misconception. Krishna is one of the avatars. The devotees who joined Prabhupada in 1966, that the only thing they reference point was some scholarly books, you know, Lord Rama, the Prince of Responsibility, and Krishna, the God of Light, and all kinds of nonsense speculation. In this particular stanza, Lord Sri Krishna is distinguished from the other incarnations. He is counted among the avatars that he appeared in a scheduled list of incarnations, because out of his causeless mercy, he descends from his transcendental abode. Avatar means one who descends. Originally, the Lord is full of all opulences, all prowess, fame, beauty, knowledge, renunciation. When they are partly manifested through the plenary portions or parts of the plenary portions, it should be noted that certain manifestations of his different powers are required for those particular functions. And Prabhupada gives the very easy to understand example of little light bulbs. Like here, there's nice light bulbs making nice light, but it's not equal to I don't know what they have up here, but Con Edison on 14th Street. Maybe that powers the entire Manhattan, maybe. I don't know. So if I was to, you know, stick my hand somehow in the electric there, I'd get a little shock. But if I would somehow touch 14th Street, Con Edison, I would be vaporized, or even less than that, but certainly deadly is to go onto the subway tracks and touch the third rail, which, see, these trains run by electricity. So, when there's a smaller manifestation of Krishna, it doesn't mean that that smaller manifestation is limited. It's just been carefully orchestrated, just like, like we have a problem with the dryer downstairs and the electric line is not sufficient, and Con Ed has to come and dig up the street and hook us up to a heavier line or something. So when an electrician handles things properly, then what we desire to do works. So, for example, Buddha is a partial manifestation of the Lord, and what Buddha did, of course, we all know, was something to affect the course of evolving Dharma. In particular, at the time, people were using the Vedas to support animal sacrifice, and it turned into just wholesale killing of animals just for wanton sense gratification. So Buddha, he decried the Vedas, and by his potency and influence had everyone attracted to follow him. But his main doctrine was nonviolence. And at the same time, in Kali Yuga, people are meant to be deviated from the Vedas and deviated from the absolute truth. So in the form of Buddha and also Sankaracharya, Lord Shiva, create a philosophy that will deviate the human race from me in this Kali Yuga. Because Kali Yuga is the opportunity for the living entities to exercise their desire to achieve the full fruits of complete atheism. The Lord displays limited powers because so much power is needed at that particular time. So, mention of the power of Lord Nrsimhadev and a description of Hiranyakashipu, how great he was, by understanding how much more elevated are the demigods in the higher level of material existence, are many, many, many times excel the most well-to-do human beings. It's described that the demigods don't visit this planet anymore because no one is performing sacrifice and because everyone's become just so, ugly, wrinkled, shriveled up, nasty, dirty, smelly. Especially in the subway in the wintertime, all the homeless people just sleeping in the subway cars. Yesterday, again, coming back on the one train, thought I would be in the last car where I'm always guaranteed to get a seat, but lo and behold, there were 2 or 3 bums sprawled out there smoking cigarettes, and it was just absolutely horrible, so I had to go pack into the other car and like that. So the demigods don't, just like I didn't want to participate in being in that disgusting subway car. So the demigods also don't want to. So how much more beautiful they are, how much more glorious and famous they are, how much more refined they are, how much more rich they are, yet at the same time, they're not pure devotees. But they're so much better. Now, this Hiranyakashipu was so powerful that he gained control of the entire universe, and everyone was subjected to obey him very strictly, so much so that even the unfavorable raising of his eyebrow cast great fear into them. So Lord Nrsimhadev, he simply killed him, this great demon, this most powerful atheistic madman, simply with his fingernails. We can simply imagine how powerful Hiranyakashipu was in this material world, but even Hiranyakashipu was cut into small pieces by the Lord's nails. Similarly, so we were hearing how all the different incarnations displayed something in particular. Narada, in plenary incarnation Varaha, as well as directly empowered Lord Buddha, created faith in the mass of people. Rama Dhanvantari displayed his fame. Balaram, Mohini, Vamana exhibited his beauty. Dattatreya, Matsya, Korma, Kapila exhibited his transcendental knowledge. Narada and Narayan Rishis exhibited his renunciation. So all the different incarnations of the Lord directly or indirectly manifested different features, but Lord Krishna, the primeval Lord, exhibited the complete features of Godhead. And now Prabhupada, out of his great compassion, gives us an insight to what is ultimately the proper understanding of the Lord's topmost pastimes. And the most extraordinary feature exhibited by Lord Sri Krishna. Prabhupada down, see, after hearing all of this, and again, this is verse 28, and we heard in detail throughout this entire chapter of all these different incarnations and avatars, plenary portions of the Lord, what they did more elaborately. So now he's describing the most extraordinary feature exhibited by Lord Sri Krishna, the full manifestation of Godhead. No other avatar, he has no other avatar or source. Lord Sri Krishna is the summum bonum. Was his internal energetic manifestations of his pastimes with the cowherd girls. His pastimes with the gopis are all displays of transcendental existence, bliss, and knowledge, although they are manifested apparently as sex love. So that is this perverted manifestation that we see all over the place. And it is completely vile, horrible, and it is the epitome of envy of Krishna. And any sane person will not take any part in such things. And of course, the goal of life is to get free from the lust and the envy that brought us to this position in this material world. And part of the revolution of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement as bona fide devotees, coming in Acharya Parampara down to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Prabhupada, is to reestablish Krishna's own system, which he describes in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Chatur Varnam, what is it? Right. The Varnashram system. Yes, on the spiritual platform we're all equal as spirit souls, but in terms of our position in this material world, in this material society, there's a hierarchy. It's not, if you look at your own body, the legs don't do the thinking and the head doesn't do the walking. The arms don't do the digesting and the belly doesn't do the what arms do. They all cooperate together, you know. Take the food and put it in the mouth. Both hands wash each other, and together they wash the face. You get a very good example of that when you go to the bathroom. And you So, the Varnashram Dharma institution is meant to gradually and progressively and soundly and solidly and assuredly elevate everyone to the position where they're actually pure devotees. And as explained at the very end, the perfected living beings, by developing 78% of the above attributes in fullness, can enter the planet of Krishna Loka after leaving the present material body. And that is the goal of this Krishna consciousness movement, is to go back home to Godhead in one lifetime. Both Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur urged us to do for this, to do this, to try for this, and told us that it can be done, and blessed us so. The specific attraction of his pastimes with the gopis should never be misunderstood. The Bhagavatam relates these transcendental pastimes in the 10th canto, and in order to reach the position to understand the transcendental nature of Lord Krishna's pastimes with the gopis, the Bhagavatam promotes the student gradually in 9 other cantos. I have it upstairs, but I don't know if it could be found by any of you quickly enough. Could someone see if Hamsadutta by Rupa Goswami can be found on one of these fancy gizmos or gadgets, and look to the very last verses in the Hamsadutta. So, in other words, all other avatars and incarnations and all of their potencies and all aspects of their glory and everything, beauty, come from Krishna, so they're within Krishna. So Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes, and in discussion with Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Roy, it's described that in whatever mellow or rasa, you found it? Let me see.
Kushakrata's translation.
Good, that's the one I want to see.
What verse?
Go to the very end where there's like the different incarnations are being explained in relationship to Krishna's dealings with Srimati Radharani.
Is all Kalki seated on your horse?
Yeah, go back. You have to go to the first one.
Oh, Balaram.
Yeah.
Oh, Parshuram.
Right.
Is in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam.
Right.
Far back. See you sublime grace in your handsome form.
Okay.
Is that?
Yeah, great fish. How do you go to the... Okay, I see. Okay, I got it. I got it under control to whatever degree I can control things. So Hansadutta literally means the swan messenger, and this is Krishna has gone to Mathura, and perhaps he's not Mathura. This is just after his departure, and of course the residents of Vrindavan, and especially the gopis, are completely overcome and distraught. What I was saying, that if an unbiased observer looks, in whatever way one wants to love Krishna is best, but how Krishna is pleased the most, and the facility for expanded love of Godhead is completely facilitated in the topmost way between Krishna and his Madhurya Bhaktas. So if the thing goes off, do I just push the button?
Yeah.
I have to slide it again? Okay, I got it. So, Lalita Devi, who of course is the chief attendant to Srimati Radharani, as much as Swarup Damodar was the private secretary and aide-de-camp and the chief assistant to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, commissioned a beautiful swan to fly to Mathura to give a message of love to Krishna on behalf of Srimati Radharani. So she's saying this to the swan: "Brother, when you have spoken to Lord Krishna this message of love, then in sweet words of love mixed with anger, please also speak to him the pastimes of his 10 incarnations. Matsya, Korma, Varaha, Vamana, Nrsimha, Ramachandra, Balaram, Krishna, Buddha, and Kalki." So this is a very special treat for all of us. I hope I don't get in trouble for speaking and revealing these things. But we should listen very carefully, and the activities of the different incarnation is related, and how the same type of characteristic or tendency had previously taken place in the relationship between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and its eternal consort. Again, by the strength of our sadhana, by the strength of our seva, by the strength of our sincere desire, and the blessings of the bona fide spiritual master and pure devotees, we can understand. Otherwise, what we're about to hear will be taken as ordinary. So such things should rarely be spoken, and should only really be contemplated and understood by those who are very much sincere and serious and elevated, and have proved themselves as such over a long, long period of time. "O great fish, Matsya, my friend tried to catch you by casting in the ocean of sweetness a fish-hooked heart baited with love. You cut the fishing line of her discrimination and swallowed the bait. Now her hopes are destroyed. Alas, what shall she do now?" Now this is in relation to Korma Avatar, the tortoise. "Seeing the sublime grace of your handsome form, this poor girl, her heart glorious with eagerness, approached you. Why did you hide your limbs and become very hard? Is it not right for you to act as a turtle?" Varahadev. "O Krishna, since ancient times and even today, waves of deep love splash on your form as a boar. On your lap you placed a servant girl that carried sandal paste, You passionately accepted her as your beloved. It's a relationship to Kuja. Yeah, I just had to turn it different. Note the servant girl is Kubja, as Lord Varaha lifted the earth from mud, so Lord Krishna lifted Kubja from the sandal paste she was carrying. So we can simply pray to Lord Varaha to lift us up from this muddy position. Nishringadev. Although your form of Lord Nishringadev has long since disappeared, it has not walked on the path of being forgotten. You, who are pleased with the humble, are still inclined to act cruelly and break others' hearts. Vamana. O Vamana, proudly ignoring her superiors, my dear friend happily offered to you the kingdom of her heart. Sukracharya forbade his disciple to offer his promise to Vamanadev for 3 paces of land. He disobeyed his superior. So Radharani disobeys her superiors, so-called mother-in-law Chatila, sister-in-law Kutila, and goes out to meet Krishna, to appoint a rendezvous to satisfy him. At great risk. O Vamana, proudly ignoring her superiors, my dear friend, happily offered to you the kingdom of her heart. She attained an appropriate result. You bound her with the ropes of love and threw her far away. So Bali disobeyed Sukracharya and offered the 3 paces of land. And Vamanadev, who in the beginning was saying, I just want 3 paces of land to the measurement of my steps. If one walks 3 steps, that is sufficient for you to sleep. What more land do you need than that? With his 2nd step, he cracked the covering of the universe, and the water of the causal ocean, the celebrated Ganga Devi, Mother Ganges, entered this world. You promised me 3 steps. Where will I put my 3rd? Because you have no place. You are a liar. You've cheated me. Therefore, your residence must be in hell, the place where liars and cheaters go. And contemplating factual that the possessor is more valuable than the possession. My dear Lord, you can place your 3rd step upon my head. O Parashuram, you are right to be hard on this girl that wishes to compete, wishes to conquer your capital. But I do not understand why your guru, Lord Shiva, now walks in the path of your forgetfulness. Note, skillfully written with many ambiguous words, this verse may also be interpreted to mean, O Krishna, you are right to be hard on this girl that wishes to jump from Govardhan Hill, but I do not understand why your father, the king of Nandishvar, Puri, now walks on the path of your forgetfulness. So she's here also appealing Lalit Devi to Krishna. Why have you forgotten your father, Nanda Maharaj? Says Parshuram was very, very hard and relentless to kill all the errant Kshatriyas who have strayed from Vedic culture. So Lalita Devi is accusing Krishna of being simply very hard on her very dear friend, Srimati Radharani Ramachandra. O Tilak Mark of the Raghus, now that you have left, the cows are tortured by Dushashan's friends. Govardhan Hill, Dushana's friends. Govardhan Hill is haunted by the demon Kara. The land is conquered by Virata, and the demon Maricha again and again dances everywhere. Another meaning to this verse. O Tilak Mark of the Raghus, now that you have left, the cows are tortured by many sufferings. Govardhan Hill is withered and dried. Soon Radha will depart, and death again and again dances everywhere. So this is the first verse was Lord Ram's banishment to the forest, and the different demons who were taking advantage and causing disturbance. O Balaram, holder of the plow, why do you not come to Vrindavan and show us the autumn cloud glory of your form and beauty, and happily throw the ass demon far away? O playful one, what we have not offended you. This verse may also be interpreted, O Krishna, O holder of the club, why do you not come to Vrindavan and show us the autumn cloud glory of your form and enjoy the rasa dance with us? O playful one, Radha has not left our company. Even though she does not love anyone, she always hates Kamadev. She forcibly rejects all material desires. She is always wrapped in meditation, and she is filled with spiritual bliss. O all-pervading Buddha, O merciful heart, you still are not kind to her. O Kalki, seated on your horse, and with the bee-covered vine of your sword, killing the suffering barbarians you see from the corner of your eye, please make the saintly devotees happy. Note, this verse may also be interpreted to mean, O auspiciousness of the Gopas, with the bee-covered sweet vine sword of your affectionate sidelong glances, killing the barbarians that are her sufferings, please make Radhika happy. So the Kalki is killing all the barbarian, to those who they dare to dress as kings at the end of Kali Yuga. So we can see like the present day Rakshasa, Malecha leaders, whoever they, whatever title they have, president, prime minister, they're candidates for Lord Kalki's sword.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's good.
So these barbarians are likened unto the sufferings of the pure devotees in their anguished feelings of separation from Krishna. So the prayer for the Lord to come, and with his sidelong lance is unlimitedly more powerful than Parshuram's axe. So with Krishna, with your sidelong glance, kill the barbarians of Radhika's sufferings and separation. So all of the 10 incarnations were, and she goes on to appeal to the bird. O king of birds, the waves of your words broken with symptoms of love, and your face wet with tears from your eyes, tell all this to Krishna as you wait for the nectar of Lord Govinda's reply. Gaze on him with your eyes. O swan lover who enjoys playing in lakes and who has the power to separate milk and water, you are very wise. Why delay your journey to Mathura? And the book concludes, may this sweet and faultless poem, which is praised by they whose hearts are good, and which is glorious with the description of the Lord's form and pastimes, make waves of happiness bloom in the heart of Lord Krishna, the friend of the worlds. The specific attraction of his pastimes with the gopis should never be misunderstood. The Bhagavatam relates these transcendental pastimes in the 10th canto in order to reach the position to understand the transcendental nature of Lord Krishna's pastimes with the gopis. The Bhagavatam promotes the student all of a sudden haphazardly.
No.
Gradually in 9 other cantos. In accordance with Srila Jiva Goswami's statement, from authoritative sources, Lord Krishna is the source of all other incarnations. It is not that Lord Krishna is any other source of incarnation. All the symptoms of the supreme truth in full are present in the person of Lord Sri Krishna, and in Bhagavad Gita the Lord emphatically declares that there is no truth greater than or equal to himself. Swayam is particularly mentioned to confirm that Lord Krishna has no other source than himself. The supremacy is the sum and bone, one without a second. Lord Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita emphatically declares there is no truth greater than himself. Mata parataram nanyat kinchit asti naranjaya mayi sarvamidam proktam sutre mani gana iva. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. There is a common controversy over whether the Supreme Absolute Truth is personal or impersonal. As far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, the Absolute Truth is the personality of Godhead, not the impersonality of Godhead. Sri Krishna, and that is confirmed in every step. In this verse in particular, it is stressed that the Absolute Truth is a person. That the personality of Godhead is the Supreme Absolute Truth is also the affirmation of the Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha. That is the Supreme Absolute Truth. Personality of Godhead is Lord Krishna, who is the primeval Lord, the reservoir of all pleasure, Govinda, and the eternal form of complete bliss and knowledge. These authorities leave no doubt that the Absolute Truth is the Supreme Person, the cause of all causes. In the material world, Brahma, the primeval living entity within the universe, is understood to be the supreme amongst the demigods, human beings, and lower animals. But beyond Brahma, there is the transcendence who has no material form and is free from all material contaminations. Anyone who can know him also becomes transcendental, but those who do not know him suffer the miseries of the material world. The impersonalist puts more stress on the word arupam. But this arupam is not impersonal. It indicates that the transcendental form of eternity, bliss, and knowledge is described in Brahma Samhita quoted above. Svatara Upanishad confirms, quote, I know that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is transcendental to all material conceptions of darkness. Only he who knows him can transcend the bonds of birth and death. There is no way for liberation other than this knowledge of that Supreme Person. Again, there is no truth superior to that Supreme Person because he is the supermost. He is smaller than the smallest, and he is greater than the greatest. He is situated as a silent tree, and he illuminates the transcendental sky. And as a tree spreads its roots, he spreads his extensive energies. From these verses, one concludes that the Supreme Absolute Truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is all-pervading by his multi-energies, both material and spiritual. So now Krishna is possessing opulences 100%, 100%, and his personal expansion, such as fire prakashan, take ekatma, up to the categories of the avatars who are all Vishnu Tattva possessed, up to 93%. And then down to the jivas who can possess ultimately up to only 78%. And in the material existence, the living entities possess these attributes in very minute quantity, varying in terms of the pious life of the living being. The standard of perfection for a human being is to develop the attributes up to 78% in full. The living being can never possess attributes like Shiva, Vishnu, or Lord Krishna. A living being can become godly. But you can't become God.
Yeah.
By developing the 78% transcendental attributes in fullness, but he can never become a God like Shiva, Vishnu, or Krishna. If you want, you can become a Brahma in due course. You see in the prayers of the pure devotees, they're praying to become even an insignificant insect in Vrindavan, or an animal in the home of a devotee, than becoming a Lord Brahma, or even such exalted personalities for Purnananda Saraswati would prefer to be even a dog or lower living entity in Vrindavan than even to be a queen of Dwarka, compared to the glory of residence in Vrindavan. The abode of Lord Krishna above all the spiritual planets is called Krishna Loka, Goloka Vrindavan, and the perfected living being, by developing 78% of the above attributes in fullness, can enter the planet of Krishna Loka after leaving the present material body. And Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta have taught us an open secret to make that, to accelerate that process to the greatest extent, and that is preaching Krishna consciousness. What is it? What is the Sanskrit? The Priya Kritama, the whole thing? One who preaches the Bhagavad Gita is most dear. 18th chapter. Okay, see, the preaching is the essence. We were reading the other day. One who preaches Krishna consciousness is perfect in devotional service. Read it out.
Nacha tasma manusheshu kashit me priyakritamaha bhavati nacha me tasma anya priya taro bhuvi.
Translation.
There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear.
So, as Rupa Goswami's concluding word in the Hamsadutta, it's false shruti, the fruit giving. He used to say, one who reads this will be blessed, will go back to Godhead. But Krishna, he's praying for the pleasure of Krishna, not that the devotee can bless Krishna, but he's praying that Krishna will be happy. And by his happiness, he is the friend of all the worlds. May this sweet and faultless poem, which is praised by those whose hearts are good, not envious rascals who would prefer just to turn on the television set, and more interested to read Hamsadutta. Which is praised by those whose hearts are good. Bring happiness to Lord Krishna, the friend of the world. So this is our process. What's going to bring the most happiness to Krishna? Just like the gopis explained here, they gave their everything, they sacrificed everything simply for the pleasure of Krishna. This is to be found in Madhya Lila chapter 19. Krishna wants everyone to surrender unto him This is what Krishna wants. He wants everyone to surrender to him. Well, let's try to accomplish that to make Krishna happy. And devotional service means preaching this gospel all over the world. The Lord says openly, as we just heard, Nachitasman Manusheshu Kashchin Me Priyakritamam. One should preach the gospel of Bhagavad Gita for the benefit of all. Prime benediction for humanity at small. Prime benediction for humanity at some. Prime benediction for humanity at sideways. Prime benediction for humanity at all. At large. Oh yeah. Prime benediction for humanity at small. Prime benediction for humanity at only hip and cool people. Prime benediction for humanity at large. All. Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Lord so that human society can be perfectly organized from all angles of vision, politically, socially, economically, philosophically, and religiously. Just as we read this morning, that if Krishna consciousness is spoken, then all the good qualities of the denizens of heaven will overcome them in their own way. So, Nam Rup Avatar, causing the descent of Krishna, as Bhagavatam is non-different than Krishna, and all that one can hope to achieve by Krishna's direct association, one will get through the careful worship and reading of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, exactly the same, and even more, the holy name, Nam Nam Akari Bahudan, Nija Sharva Shaktis, all transcendental potencies. That means the entire Braj and Dham, the entire entourage, all the associates of the Lord, all the leelas of the Lord are taking play, are the holy name, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So the persistent distribution, profuse distribution of Nam Sankirtan will renovate everything on this planet, beginning with Varnashram Dharma, which is absolutely required to bring everyone into proper order. Without Varnashram Dharma, this is just what we have out here. It's like worse than a society of two-legged animals. Now they're like trying to make equality for all different types of sinful ways of life, and anybody who's against it is labeled as a misogynist and like a Nazi, an anti-Semite, horrible, cruel person. These are the demons. That which is very good, they decry it as being very, very bad, and that which is most heinous and reprehensible, they promote it as being very, very good. One should preach the gospel of Bhagavad Gita for the benefit of all. Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Lord so that human society can be perfectly organized from all angles of vision. From any point of view, human society can be reformed by the Krishna consciousness movement. What about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? What about my mind? Just try the chanting. I have no other medicine. I have no other answer. Prabhupada told the crazy LSD hippie freak, disturbing his meeting in either San Francisco or 26 2nd Avenue. It was Haight-Ashbury. The devotees turned to the person and said, "Why don't you try it?" From any point of view, therefore, one who spreads this philosophy of Krishna consciousness for the benefit of all conditioned souls in the universe is perfect in pure devotional service. So we should take note of this. And go back home, back to Godhead, first once again. Ete Chamsa Kalapumsa Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyalakam Lokam Indrayanti Inda Yuge Yuge. the above mentioned incarnations are plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of God, and all of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheists. The Lord incarnates to protect the theists. Antaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So, what is, look in this book, and look in the very first, is this, which verse is the very beginning, which verse at the beginning of the Bhagavatam? There's always like a verse at the beginning of the canto. Is it this verse?
That
Huh?
verse in the beginning of the canto?
The very beginning of the book.
No, it's Krishna Swarnamo Bhagavati.
Oh, okay. This Bhagavatam is risen like the sun. Okay. All right. So this is a very important verse. I think I remember in previous printings that this one was given.
That one's got Krishna's Bhagavan, right?
No, this one has that also.
Mm.